"Dad, you're just confused," Marcus said. Calm, patient, like explaining math to a child. I stared at the green bottle in his hand, the wine bottle on my counter, the funnel. He wasn't even trying to hide it. I'm 71 years old, not senile, not blind. And in that moment, standing in my own kitchen at 2 in the morning because I couldn't sleep, I understood my son had decided I'd be worth more dead. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. I'd gotten up for water, throat dry. The bedroom felt wrong without Helen. 5 months since the cancer took her. Some nights I still reached for her side of the bed before remembering. The kitchen light was on. That registered first. I always turned it off. Then I saw Marcus at the counter. My counter. In my house. At 2:47 a.m. according to the microwave clock. He had the Merlot, the bottle I'd opened at dinner, 3/4 full, and he had an antifreeze jug, the bright green kind, generic brand from Walmart. The funnel was small, metal, the kind Helen used for her canning. He was pouring. I watched green liquid glug into dark wine. 1 second, 2, 3. Marcus. His head snapped up. The funnel clattered against the bottleneck. Antifreeze splashed on the granite. We stared at each other. My son, 43 years old, wearing the Michigan State hoodie I'd bought him for Christmas, standing in my kitchen, poisoning my wine. "Dad," he set down the antifreeze, slow, careful. "You're up. What are you doing?" "Just checking on things." "With antifreeze?" "Dad, you're confused. You're having one of your episodes." I looked at the bottle, the funnel, the green puddle spreading across my counter. "I can see it, Marcus." "See what?" His voice stayed level, concerned. "Dad, there's nothing there. You're seeing things again. Again. Like this happened. Like I had episodes. The antifreeze is in your hand." "Dad." He stepped toward me, hands up, placating. "You're confused. It's the middle of the night. You probably had a bad dream." I looked at his eyes. My son's eyes. Helen's eyes. She'd been so proud when he got his MBA, when he married Vanessa, when he made junior partner at the accounting firm. Those eyes were calculating now, measuring, deciding something. "I think we need to call Dr. Phillips," he said. "Get you checked out. This is the 3rd time this week you've had an episode." "I haven't had any episodes." "Dad, yesterday you called me at work saying someone broke in. Remember? The police came. There was no break-in." I had called. Because my bedroom window was open, I'd left it closed. The window was open because it was hot. You opened it and forgot. I didn't forget. And last week you accused Vanessa of stealing Mom's jewelry. Remember? We found it exactly where you'd put it. In the safe. I'd looked for Helen's pearls. Her mother's pearls. They were in the safe when I finally checked. But I'd seen Vanessa looking at them at the funeral, touching them, saying they were beautiful. "Dad, I'm worried about you." Marcus moved closer. "Living here alone, getting confused. Maybe it's time we talked about other options." "Other options?" "A place where they can monitor you, make sure you're taking your medications, getting proper care." "I'm fine. You're standing in your kitchen at 3 a.m. accusing me of poisoning you with antifreeze that isn't there." I looked at the counter. The antifreeze jug was gone. The funnel was gone. The green puddle was gone. The wine bottle sat there, cork beside it, dark and innocent. "I saw it. I know you think you did." He put his hand on my shoulder. "That's what's so scary about this, Dad. Your brain is playing tricks on you, making you see things that aren't real." I jerked away from his touch, stepped back. My hip hit the table, Helen's table, the one we'd eaten at for 43 years. "Why are you here? At 3 in the morning?" "I've been here since dinner, Dad, remember? I stayed in the guest room. We talked about this." "Had we?" I tried to remember. Dinner was pot roast. Marcus had come over. We'd eaten, talked about Helen, about the estate, about paperwork. Had he said he was staying? "You don't remember, do you?" Marcus's voice went soft. Sad. "This is exactly what I'm talking about." My thoughts felt thick, slow, like moving through mud. "I'm calling Dr. Phillips first thing tomorrow," Marcus said. "We're getting you a full evaluation. Cognitive testing, the works. I don't need... Dad, I love you. I'm not going to watch you deteriorate like this. If you won't think about yourself, think about what Mom would want. She'd want you safe, cared for. Helen, who'd made me promise to take care of myself. Who'd held my hand at the end and whispered, 'Don't be stubborn. Accept help when you need it.'" "Go back to bed," Marcus said. "I'll clean up down here." I stood there, old man in pajamas, confused, doubting what I'd seen with my own eyes. Marcus smiled, gentle, concerned. "I love you, Dad. We'll figure this out together." I went back to bed, lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling Helen had stared at those last months when the pain was too bad to sleep. Had I imagined it? I got up at dawn, went to the kitchen. Marcus was gone. Note on the table in his handwriting. "Had to get to work early. I'll call Dr. Phillips today. Love you, M." The wine bottle was gone. I checked the recycling. Not there. Checked the trash. Not there. The garage trash cans. Nothing. Marcus had taken it with him. I stood in my garage, the one I'd built, where I'd taught Marcus to change oil when he was 16, where Helen and I had danced to old records on our anniversary because the house was too cluttered for dancing after 40 years. My son had tried to poison me, then convinced me I'd imagined it. I went inside, made coffee, Helen's coffee maker, the programmable one she'd loved. Set out her mug without thinking, then stared at it. Empty. Always empty now. My phone rang. Marcus. "Hey, Dad, how are you feeling?" "Fine." "Any more episodes last night?" "No." "Good, that's good. Listen, I got you an appointment with Dr. Phillips, Thursday at 2. I'll pick you up at 1:30. "I can drive." "I know you can, but I'd like to be there, to talk to the doctor about what I've been seeing. Is that okay?" What he'd been seeing. My confusion, my episodes, my deterioration. "Sure. Great, love you, Dad." "I'll check in tonight." He hung up. I sat at the table, Helen's chair empty across from me. 43 years of breakfasts in these chairs. 43 years of her asking how I slept, if I wanted eggs. Had I seen the forecast? The house was so goddamn quiet. I opened my banking app. Might as well check the accounts while I had my coffee. I did it every few days. Habit from 40 years in construction management. Always know your numbers. The checking account looked normal. $8,400. Pension deposit. Social Security. The usual. I clicked on the money market. The one Helen and I had built slowly. Emergency fund, vacation fund. The cushion that let us sleep at night when times were tight. $340. Should have been $84,340. I stared at the number. Refreshed the page. 340. Check the transaction history. Transfer out. March 15th, 6 days ago. $84,000 to Marcus Sullivan. I scrolled back. February 3rd. Transfer out. $35,000 to Marcus Sullivan. January 8th. Transfer out. $28,000 to Marcus Sullivan. The dates blurred. Months became a year. Became 2 years. Since Helen's diagnosis. Since we'd added Marcus to the accounts to help manage things while we focused on her treatment. $340,000 gone. The house account. Our joint savings. 43 years of socking away 20% of every check. Of Helen clipping coupons and shopping sales and saying, "We're building something, Arthur. We're building security." I clicked on the investment account. The one with the stocks Helen's father left her. Boeing, Ford, blue chips that paid dividends. That we never touched. That was supposed to be Marcus's inheritance when we were gone. $12,200 remaining. Should have been $240,000. Transaction history. Sold, sold, sold. All in the last 18 months. All while Helen was dying and I was holding her hand through chemo and telling her everything would be okay. $580,000. Gone. My son had taken $580,000. I sat there. Coffee going cold. The clock ticking. Same kitchen clock we'd hung in 1985. The one that played Greensleeves on the hour until Helen disabled it because it drove her crazy. Marcus had stolen our money, then tried to poison me, then convinced me I was losing my mind. My hands shook. I set down the phone before I dropped it. Think. I needed to think. The accounts were joint. Marcus's name was on them. Legally, he could access them. The bank wouldn't call it theft. They'd call it authorized transactions. But poisoning, that was different. That was attempted murder. Except I had no proof. The bottle was gone, the antifreeze was gone, and Marcus had already built the narrative. Confused old man. Episodes. Seeing things that weren't there. Who would believe me? I pulled up my call history. Yesterday. 11:47 a.m. Outgoing to Marcus. Duration 3:17. I'd called him about a break-in. He'd said there was no break-in. Police came. Found nothing. But what if there had been something? What if I'd seen something real and Marcus had gotten there first? I couldn't remember what I'd called about. That scared me more than anything. The gaps, the uncertainty. Was I losing it? No. The bank statements didn't lie. $580,000 was gone. That was real. That was documented. But the antifreeze? Last night, I went to the recycling bin outside, dug through it. Milk cartons, cereal boxes, wine bottles. 3 wine bottles. All empty, all rinsed, all clean. Which one had Marcus poured from? I pulled them out, set them on the garage floor, checked each one, held them up to the light, sniffed the openings. Nothing. Just wine residue and glass. One was Merlot, the brand I'd had at dinner. But I went through 2 bottles a week since Helen died. Drinking alone at the table. Talking to her empty chair. No way to know if this was the bottle. I stood there surrounded by empty wine bottles in my garage. 71 years old, hands shaking, doubting my own mind. This was exactly what Marcus wanted. Helen's voice came back. Something she'd said when Marcus was 12. He'd gotten caught cheating on a math test, had lied about it, had gotten his friend Ryan to back up his story, had almost gotten away with it. "He's clever," she'd said. "Too clever sometimes. He knows how to make people doubt themselves." I'd defended him, said he was just scared. Just a kid making mistakes. But she'd been quiet, thoughtful. Then, "Arthur, our son is missing something. I don't know what. But when he lies, there's nothing behind his eyes. No guilt, just calculation." I dismissed it. Marcus was fine, successful, smart. Helen was being paranoid. Now I stood in my garage looking at evidence I couldn't prove, doubting memories I couldn't trust, while my son systematically took everything Helen and I had built and then tried to kill me when I got too close to noticing. Thursday. Dr. Phillips. 2 days away. Marcus would be there. Would tell the doctor about my confusion, my episodes, my accusations. The doctor would nod, would ask me questions, would see a grieving widower struggling with age and loss, would recommend evaluation, maybe medication, maybe a nice facility where they could monitor me, and Marcus would have power of attorney. Medical decisions, financial decisions. The house would be next, the only asset left. Worth maybe $380,000 in this market. Paid off, free and clear, in both our names. Mine and Helen's. Except Helen was dead, and I was becoming incompetent. I needed proof, real proof. Something a doctor would believe, something a lawyer would believe. But first, I needed to make sure I was actually sane. I went inside, called Dr. Phillips directly. "Arthur Sullivan for Dr. Phillips." "Mr. Sullivan?" "Yes. Your son called this morning. We have you scheduled for Thursday at 2. I need to come in today, now, without my son." Pause. "Is everything all right?" "I need cognitive testing, full evaluation, without my son present. Can you do that?" Another pause. Longer. "We have an opening at 11. But, Mr. Sullivan, if you're having concerns about your cognitive state, I'll be there at 11. I hung up. Called my lawyer, Sam Berkowitz. Did our estate planning. Had known Helen and me for 30 years. Sam, it's Arthur Sullivan. Arthur, I'm so sorry again about Helen. How are you holding up? I need to see you, today, afternoon. Today's pretty packed. Can it wait until... My son is trying to kill me. Silence. I'll move things around, Sam said. 1 o'clock. I showed up at Dr. Phillips's office at 10:50. The receptionist looked surprised. Mr. Sullivan, you're early. I'm here for my appointment. That's Thursday. I called this morning. Spoke to someone. She said 11. The receptionist checked her computer. Frowned. I don't have a record of that call. I spoke to someone at 8:30. She said you had an opening at 11. Our office doesn't open until 9. My stomach dropped. Had I imagined calling? Had I imagined the conversation? But, the receptionist continued, Dr. Phillips is actually free right now. She had a cancellation. I can ask if she'll see you. She disappeared into the back. Came out 2 minutes later with Dr. Phillips, late 50s, kind eyes. Had been Helen's oncologist before referring us to the specialist. Had cried with us when the treatment stopped working. Arthur, she smiled. Warm, genuine. Come on back. Her office was small, books everywhere, degrees on the wall, photo of her husband and 3 daughters. I understand Marcus called, I said. He did. He's concerned about you. Says you've been having some cognitive episodes. I need you to test me, fully, today, before I see you with Marcus on Thursday. Why? Because I need to know if I'm losing my mind before my son has me declared incompetent. Dr. Phillips leaned back, studied me. That's quite an accusation. I saw him poisoning my wine last night. He says I imagined it. I found $580,000 missing from my accounts this morning. That's documented. But I can't remember if I authorized it. He says I did. Says I'm confused. And you think... I think either I'm going senile or my son is gaslighting me before he kills me. And I need to know which one. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she pulled out a file. I'm going to do a full cognitive evaluation. MoCA test, MMSE, clock drawing, memory assessment. It'll take about 90 minutes. Are you ready? Yes. She started with questions. What year is it? What month? What day? What city are we in? Who's the president? Easy, all easy, then harder. She read me a list of words, asked me to repeat them, asked me to draw a clock showing 11:10, asked me to count backwards from 100 by 7s. I did it all, focused, sharp, the way I'd been sharp my whole life when something mattered. She asked me to recall the words from earlier. I got 4 out of 5. That's actually above average for your age, she said. More tests, patterns, sequences, following multi-step instructions. After 90 minutes, she put down her pen. Arthur, you're scoring 29 out of 30 on the MoCA. That's well within normal range. Anything above 26 is considered normal cognitive function. Relief flooded through me. So intense I had to sit back. I'm not losing it. You're grieving, you're alone, you're adjusting to massive life changes, but your cognitive function is perfectly intact. Will you document that? Officially? I'll write up the evaluation today. It'll be in your file. Before Thursday? Yes. And you'll have it when Marcus is here? She looked at me, really looked at me. Arthur, are you safe at home? I don't know. Do you want me to involve social services? No. I need to handle this differently, but I need that documentation. You'll have it. I drove to Sam's office, arrived at 12:50, sat in my truck for 10 minutes. The truck I'd bought new in 2004, that Helen had hated because it was too big, but had learned to drive anyway because she was practical like that. What if I was wrong? What if Marcus had authorized access to the accounts and I'd forgotten? What if last night was a dream and I was having some kind of breakdown? But Dr. Phillips said I was fine. 29 out of 30. I got out of the truck. Sam's office was in an old converted house. He ran a small practice. Wills, trusts, Real estate. The boring stuff that kept families from destroying each other after someone died, except we were destroying each other anyway. Arthur, Sam stood when I came in, shook my hand. Firm grip. Sit down. Tell me what's going on. I told him. The money, the wine bottle, the episodes Marcus described, the evaluation I'd just passed. Sam listened, took notes, didn't interrupt. When I finished, he set down his pen. First question, do you have any proof of the poisoning? No. He took the bottle. Witnesses? Just me. At 2 a.m. in my own house. Security cameras? No. Sam nodded. So we have no proof of attempted murder, but we do have documented financial transfers. Do you remember authorizing them? No. Did Marcus have power of attorney? No, just joint access. We added him to the accounts when Helen got sick, to help manage bills while we were dealing with treatment. Did you sign anything giving him authority to transfer large amounts? I don't know, maybe. I signed a lot of paperwork back then. Sam pulled out a legal pad. Started writing. Here's what we're going to do. Today, now, before Marcus knows you're onto him. Okay? First, we're going to the bank. You're removing Marcus from all accounts, immediately. Can I do that? They're your accounts. He's just an authorized user. You can revoke that authorization any time. He'll know. Good. Let him know. Let him panic. Panicked people make mistakes. What else? We're updating your will. Today. Right now. You're leaving everything to a trust. Marcus gets nothing. I'll be the trustee. He's my son. He stole $500,000 from you and tried to poison you. The words hung there. Blunt. True. Third, Sam continued, we're setting up a protection order. You're going to write down everything you remember, every transfer, every conversation, every episode he's described. We're building a timeline. No one will believe me about the poisoning. Probably not. But if Marcus pushes for incompetency evaluation, we'll have documentation that you were cognitive tested the day before with perfect scores. We'll have documentation that you discovered financial irregularities and took immediate, rational action. We'll show pattern and motive. Motive? He's been bleeding you dry. You were about to notice. He needed you gone. Sam stood up. Come on, bank first. Then we draft the new will. The bank was 3 blocks away. Same bank Helen and I had used for 40 years, where we got our first mortgage. Where the teller, Rita, still remembered Helen's birthday and always asked about her. Rita wasn't there, just a young guy, maybe 25. Name tag said Kyle. I need to remove someone from my accounts, I said. Kyle pulled up my information. Okay, which accounts? All of them. And who are we removing? Marcus Sullivan, my son. Kyle's fingers flew over the keyboard. Okay, looks like Marcus Sullivan has been authorized on, wow, quite a few accounts. Checking, saving, money market, investment. When would you like this to take effect? Now. Sure thing. I'll just need you to fill out these forms. He slid papers across the desk. I filled them out. Sam witnessed. Kyle processed everything. Took maybe 20 minutes. All set, Kyle said. Marcus Sullivan no longer has access to any of your accounts. If he tries to access them, will he know? He'll be denied. And yes, he'll be notified that his access has been revoked. Good. Back at Sam's office, we drafted a new will. Simple, direct. Everything to a trust. Trust funds to be distributed to legitimate charities, medical research, veterans organizations, the food bank where Helen had volunteered. Marcus got $1, standard disinheritance clause. Couldn't be accused of forgetting him. Sign here, Sam said. And here, I signed. He witnessed. His paralegal notarized. Done, Sam said. As of 2:47 p.m., Marcus inherits exactly $1. My phone buzzed. Text from Marcus. Dad, I just got a notification from the bank. Did you remove me from your accounts? Please call me. This is exactly the kind of confused decision-making I'm worried about. I showed Sam. Don't respond, he said. The phone rang. Marcus. Don't answer. It went to voicemail. Rang again immediately. He's panicking, Sam said. Good. What do I do? Nothing. You go home. You lock your doors. You don't let him in. If he shows up, you call the police. He's my son. He tried to kill you, Arthur. I drove home. The house was empty. Quiet. Helen's presence everywhere. Her books on the shelf. Her coat still hanging by the door because I couldn't bring myself to donate it. I locked the doors. Both deadbolts. The chain. Checked the windows. All locked. My phone kept buzzing. Marcus calling. Texting. Voicemails piling up. I listened to one. Dad, I don't know what's going on, but removing me from the accounts is really concerning. I'm worried you're not thinking clearly. Please call me back. I'm coming over. We need to talk about this. I called Sam. He says he's coming over. Don't let him in. If he shows up, call 911. I can't call 911 on my own son. He tried to poison you. I don't have proof. Then get some. I hung up. Sat at the kitchen table. Helen's table. Thought about the wine bottle. About the antifreeze. About watching my son pour poison into my drink. If he tried again, I'd be ready. I went to the garage. Found my old video camera. The one I'd used to record Marcus's football games. His graduation. His wedding. Every milestone. The battery was dead. I charged it. Found the tripod in the basement. Set it up in the corner of the kitchen. Angled it toward the counter. The camera was old enough it didn't have Wi-Fi. Just recorded to tape. But it worked. Then I opened a new bottle of wine. Poured one glass. Took it to my chair. Left the bottle on the counter. Marcus arrived at 7. I heard his key in the lock. Then frustration when it didn't turn. The deadbolt was engaged. He couldn't override it. He knocked. Dad, open up. I know you're in there. I sat in my chair. Didn't move. Dad, we need to talk. The bank think I'm worried about you. Please. Open the door. Silence. Fine. Be that way. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here until you let me in. I waited. Sipped my wine. Watched the camera recording in the corner. Red light blinking. At 8:15, my doorbell camera alert went off. I pulled out my phone. Marcus was still on the porch. Sitting. Scrolling through his phone. At 9:30, he knocked again. Dad, this is ridiculous. It's cold out here. Just let me in so we can talk. Nothing. At 10:45, he left. I watched on the doorbell camera. He walked to his BMW, sat there for 15 minutes, then drove away. I didn't sleep. Sat in the living room with the lights off, watching the street, watching for his car to return. It didn't. Morning came. Thursday. The appointment with Dr. Phillips was at 2. Marcus would be there. My phone buzzed. Text from Marcus. Dad, I'll pick you up at 1:30 for Dr. Phillips. Looking forward to getting you the help you need. I didn't respond. At 1:15, I drove myself to Dr. Phillips's office, arrived at 1:25. Marcus pulled up at 1:35. I watched through the waiting room window. He looked at my truck in the parking lot. His face went hard. He came inside, saw me sitting there. Dad, I was supposed to pick you up. I drove myself. You shouldn't be driving, not when you're having episodes. Dr. Phillips came out. Marcus, Arthur, hi. Come on back. We sat in her office. Me in one chair. Marcus in the other. Dr. Phillips behind her desk. So, she said, Arthur came to see me yesterday, without an appointment, requested full cognitive testing. Marcus's face stayed neutral. Really? Why? He had concerns about his mental state. As do I. That's why we're here. Yes, well, I performed a complete evaluation, MOCA assessment, memory testing, executive function, the full battery. And Dr. Phillips opened a file. Arthur scored 29 out of 30. That's well above the threshold for cognitive impairment. Marcus blinked. That can't be right. I assure you, it is. Your father's cognitive function is perfectly normal for his age. But the episodes, the confusion, The accusations. Can you give me specific examples? He called me Tuesday saying someone broke into his house. Police found nothing. He accused my wife of stealing his mother's jewelry. It was in his safe where he'd put it. And Monday night he said... Marcus stopped. Said what? Dr. Phillips asked. Nothing. It's too absurd. I'd like to hear it. Marcus looked at me, then at Dr. Phillips. He said I was poisoning him with antifreeze in his wine at 2 a.m. Dr. Phillips wrote something down. And were you? Of course not. I wasn't even there. I was at home. I pulled out my phone, opened the doorbell camera footage, the timestamp from Monday night. 11:47 p.m. Marcus's BMW pulling into my driveway. I showed Dr. Phillips. This is Monday night, I said. 11:47. Marcus arrived. According to the footage, he left Tuesday morning at 6:20 a.m. Marcus's face flushed. I stayed in the guest room. Dad invited me. He forgets these things. Did I invite you? Yes, at dinner. You asked me to stay. Said you were lonely. Do you have your own key to my house? Yes, you gave it to me. For emergencies. And the accounts? The $580,000 transferred from my accounts to yours over the last 2 years? The room went very quiet. Dr. Phillips looked up. I'm sorry. Did you say $580,000? I found the transfers yesterday morning, after Marcus told me I was having episodes. I checked my bank accounts. $580,000 gone. All transferred to Marcus. Dad, we talked about those transfers. You authorized them. For the business. You said I could use the investment capital. Did I sign anything? We discussed it. You said yes. That counts as authorization. Show me documentation. I don't have... It was verbal. You said I could. When? When did I say that? Marcus's face was red now, anger breaking through the concern. When Mom was sick. You said family helps family. You said I could use whatever I needed. To pay medical bills. For Helen. Not for your business. The accounts had my name on them. That means joint ownership. I had every right. To steal $500,000 while my wife was dying? It's not stealing if my name is on the account. His voice had risen, the mask slipping. Dr. Phillips watched him carefully. Marcus, she said quietly, I think we need to take a step back. No. He stood up. No, this is exactly the problem. He's paranoid. He's accusing me of things I didn't do. He needs help. He needs to be in a place where he can't hurt himself. His cognitive testing is perfect. So what? Tests don't show everything. He's clearly delusional. He thinks I tried to poison him. That's insane. Is it? Dr. Phillips asked. Marcus stared at her. You're taking his side? I'm not taking sides. I'm observing that your father shows no signs of cognitive impairment. His accusations, while serious, don't stem from confusion or dementia. They stem from something else. They stem from paranoia, from grief, from living alone and creating fantasies. Or, Dr. Phillips said slowly, they stem from noticing patterns, noticing missing money, noticing someone had access to his house and his accounts at all hours. Marcus grabbed his jacket. This is bullshit. I'm trying to help him and he's poisoning you against me. Dad, I'm done. You want to believe I'm some kind of monster? Fine. Figure it out yourself. He stormed out. The door slammed. I sat there, shaking, not from fear, from relief. Thank you, I said. Dr. Phillips closed her file. Arthur, I'm going to strongly recommend you speak with the police about those transfers, and I'm going to recommend you change your locks. Already did, this morning. She smiled, small, sad. Good. And Arthur, your wife would be proud of you. I called Sam from the parking lot. Marcus knows. He blew up at the doctor's office, admitted the transfers, tried to justify them. Perfect. Did the doctor witness it? Yes. Even better. File a police report. Today, now, while it's fresh. The police station was downtown. I drove there, walked in, asked to file a report. The officer was young, professional, probably 30. Name tag said Anderson. What's the nature of the report? Financial theft and possible attempted murder. His eyebrows went up. Okay, let's start from the beginning. I told him everything. The accounts, the transfers, the wine bottle, Marcus's reaction at the doctor's office. I showed him my cognitive test results, the bank statements, the doorbell camera footage. Officer Anderson took notes. Mr. Sullivan, I'll be honest, the attempted murder is going to be hard to prove without physical evidence. But the financial stuff, that we can investigate. He'll say I authorized it. Did you? No. Then that's theft. Joint account or not, if he took money without your knowledge or permission, that's a crime. What happens now? I file the report. Detective will follow up. Probably call you in for a formal statement. They'll investigate the transfers. If there's probable cause, they'll file charges. How long does that take? Weeks, maybe months. Financial crimes take time. I drove home. The house felt safer now. New locks, camera recording, documentation filed. But it didn't feel like home. Helen's absence was everywhere. The empty chair, the silent kitchen, the bed that was too big for one person. Marcus called at 8 p.m. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Dad, I'm sorry I lost my temper. You caught me off guard with all those accusations, but I'm still your son. I still love you. We can work this out. Just call me back, please. His voice sounded right. Concerned. Loving. The son I'd raised. But I'd seen his eyes in that doctor's office. The calculation. The anger when his plan fell apart. Helen had been right. Something was missing in him. Something that should have been there wasn't. Friday morning, my doorbell rang. I checked the camera. Vanessa, Marcus's wife. Alone. I opened the door. Chain still on. Arthur. She looked tired. Older than her 40 years. Can we talk? About what? About Marcus. About what's happening. What's happening is your husband stole $500,000 from me and tried to kill me. She flinched. I know. My hand froze on the door. You know? Can I come in, please? I unlocked the chain. Let her in. We sat at the kitchen table. Helen's table. I didn't know about all of it, Vanessa said. Not at first. The transfers started small. A few thousand here and there. He said you'd authorized them. That you wanted to help with the business. What business? The consulting firm. His side venture. He said it was taking off. That he just needed capital to scale. And? It failed. 6 months ago. He lost everything. His investment, the clients he'd lined up, everything. So he took more. Yes. He kept saying it was temporary. That he'd pay you back when the next deal closed. But there was no next deal. Just more debt. More desperation. Did you know about the antifreeze? She looked at her hand. No, but I suspected. Monday night. He said he was staying at your place because you were lonely. But he took a funnel from our garage. The small one. And I saw antifreeze in his car. The next day, it was gone. Why didn't you say anything? Because he's my husband. Because I have 2 kids. Because I wanted to believe I was wrong. We sat in silence. The clock ticked. Helen's clock. I'm divorcing him, Vanessa said quietly. I've already called a lawyer. I'm taking the kids. He doesn't know yet. I'm sorry. Don't be. I married a man I thought I knew. Turns out I was wrong. She stood up. I came to tell you I'm sorry. For what he did. For what I didn't stop. And to tell you that if you need me to testify about anything, I will. She left. I sat there, thinking about Marcus at 8 years old. Smart, funny, good at sports, good at school, good at convincing people he was exactly what they wanted to see. Helen had seen through it. I hadn't wanted to. The detective called Monday. Detective Sarah Chen. No relation to the band surname. Just unfortunate coincidence. Mr. Sullivan, I've reviewed your case. I'd like you to come in for a formal interview. Can you make it Wednesday at 10? Yes, Wednesday. Detective's office. Small room. Recording equipment. Detective Chen on one side, me on the other. She asked questions. I answered. Showed documentation. Bank statements. Test results. Doorbell footage. Sam sat next to me. Made sure I didn't say anything that could hurt the case. "This is solid," Detective Chen said. "We'll start with the financial crimes. Get warrants for his accounts. See where the money went. If we can prove he took it without authorization, we file charges." "What about the poisoning? Without the bottle, without the antifreeze, without any physical evidence? I'm sorry, we can't move forward on that." "So he gets away with it?" "No, he gets charged with theft. If convicted, he's looking at significant prison time. And if anything else happens to you, if you end up sick, hurt, dead, we'll know exactly where to look." I left the station, drove to the cemetery. Helen's grave, new headstone, simple. Her name, dates, beloved wife and mother. I sat on the bench next to her plot, the one I'd had installed. Oak, brass plaque with both our names, space for my dates when the time came. "You were right," I said to the stone, "about Marcus, about what was missing. I should have listened." The wind blew. Cold. April in Michigan. Still winter in everything but name. "I'm handling it," I told her. "The way you would have wanted. Through the law. Through proper channels. But God, Helen, our son, our boy." A crow landed near the headstone. Looked at me. Flew away. I sat there until the cold seeped through my jacket. Until my hip ached from the hard bench. Until I couldn't feel my fingers. Then I went home. Marcus was arrested on a Thursday, 3 weeks after the interview. Detective Chen called first. "We served the warrant this morning. He's in custody. Bail hearing tomorrow." "What are the charges?" 5 counts of felony financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. Each count carries up to 5 years. "I'm not vulnerable. Legally, you are. You're over 65. The law protects elderly victims of financial crimes. Elderly, vulnerable, victim, all true, all painful. Will he get bail? Probably. He's not a flight risk. No prior record. But it'll be high. Local news picked up the story. Local accountant charged with exploiting elderly father. Picture of Marcus in a suit. Picture of me looking old and tired at the courthouse. Elderly. There was that word again. People called. Neighbors, old friends, Helen's book club friends. All saying how sorry they were, how shocked, how they never would have guessed. I thanked them, accepted casseroles I wouldn't eat, listened to their disbelief. The trial was set for September, 6 months away. Sam said that was fast for a criminal case. Marcus made bail, $50,000. Vanessa didn't pay it. His attorney did. I wondered where he got the money. Then realized he probably still had some of mine hidden somewhere. He moved into an apartment, lost his job. The accounting firm didn't want the publicity. Vanessa filed for divorce, got temporary full custody. Marcus was allowed supervised visits with the kids. I changed my phone number, got a security system installed, cameras on every entrance, motion sensors, the works. Lived like a man under siege in his own home. One night in July, the doorbell rang. 11 p.m. I checked the camera. Marcus. I didn't answer, just watched him on the screen. He knocked. "Dad, I know you're there. I just want to talk." Silence. "I'm sorry. For all of it. I was desperate. The business failed, and I panicked, and I made terrible choices, but I never meant to hurt you. You have to believe that." I didn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. "Please. You're my father. I'm your son. That has to count for something." The camera showed his face. He was crying. Real tears. Maybe genuine. Maybe calculated. I'd never know which. "I'll pay you back. Every cent. I'll work the rest of my life if I have to. Just don't let it end like this." I turned off the monitor. Went to bed. Lay there listening to him knock. Plead. Finally leave. Helen's voice in my head. "Sometimes love means letting go, even when it hurts." The trial happened. Jury selection. Opening statements. Testimony. I sat on the witness stand, told my story, the accounts, the transfers, the cognitive test, all of it. Marcus's attorney tried to make me look confused, forgetful, vindictive. The jury saw through it. Sam made sure they saw the bank statements, the timeline, the pattern. Vanessa testified about the failed business, the funnel, the antifreeze. Marcus's face went pale. He'd thought she'd stay quiet, thought loyalty would win. Deliberation took 4 hours, guilty on all counts. Sentencing was set for October. The judge gave him 8 years, eligible for parole in 5. Marcus cried. His attorney consoled him. The bailiff led him away. I sat in the courtroom, feeling nothing. Then everything. Then nothing again. Sam drove me home. You did the right thing. Doesn't feel right. It never does. But it was necessary. I filed civil suit the next week to recover the stolen funds. Marcus had spent most of it, but the court ordered restitution. Garnishment of any future wages. He'd be paying it back until he died, assuming he didn't die in prison first. Winter came. The first without Helen, the first with Marcus in prison. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I sold it in February. Couldn't live there anymore. Too many ghosts. Helen, Marcus as a boy. The family we'd been before everything fell apart. Bought a small condo, 2 bedrooms, one for me, one for the grandkids if Vanessa ever let them visit. She did, cautiously, supervised at first, then slowly trusting me again. They ask about him, she said one afternoon. Her daughter Emma was 8. Her son Tyler was 6. They were playing in my 2nd bedroom. What do you tell them? That Daddy made mistakes. Bad ones. That he's paying the price. Do they understand? No, but they will. Eventually. Emma came running in. Grandpa, can we make cookies? I looked at her, Helen's eyes, my eyes, Marcus's smile. Yeah, I said, we can make cookies. We made chocolate chip, Helen's recipe. The one she'd perfected over 40 years. The one Marcus had loved as a kid. The kitchen smelled like sugar and vanilla, like home used to smell. Emma got flour everywhere. Tyler ate half the dough. They laughed, fought over the mixer, decorated cookies with too much frosting, normal, messy, alive. After they left, I cleaned up, threw away burned cookies, wiped down counters, found a note on the table. Emma's handwriting. Thank you, Grandpa. I love you. I put it on the refrigerator, next to the picture of Helen, next to the cognitive test results, next to the piece of paper where I'd calculated how much Marcus had stolen. Evidence that I was sane, that I'd been right, that sometimes the people you love most are the ones who hurt you worst, but also evidence that life goes on, that families can heal, that cookies and grandkids and flour-covered kitchens matter more than money ever did. Marcus called from prison once. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Dad, I know you won't talk to me. I get it. But I need you to know I'm getting help. Therapy, AA, working on myself. Maybe someday. Maybe we can talk. Maybe you can forgive me. I hope so. I love you. I saved the voicemail. Didn't delete it. Didn't respond. Forgiveness wasn't something I could promise. Maybe not something I could ever give. But I could live. I could be there for Emma and Tyler. I could keep Helen's memory alive. I could make cookies and tell stories and be the grandfather they deserved. That was enough. If you like this story, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.